Hi friends, it's Leslie from PlaydatesParties.com. Today we're making this cute paper train that I made for my son's train-themed birthday party backdrop. But it would be just as adorable on your nursery or playroom wall. It's a great beginner project because it's so easy to make. So let's get started. After you've downloaded the file and unzipped it, you're going to see these two files within there. You've got the how-to file, which will get you straight to this tutorial and to the blog post, so you don't have to worry about looking for anything. It's all very quick and very easy. You'll also have your SVG file, which works for Cricut Design Space and has everything loaded right into it. So let's head over to Cricut Design Space to see that in action. So I'm here in a new document and I need to get the project loaded up onto my canvas. So we're going to click Upload, Upload Image, then Browse, and then you need to get to wherever you have placed the files on your computer. In this case, I'm already there, but if it's still in your Downloads folder, you need to get it from there. It's wherever you have put the file on your computer. Then you click on the colorful paper train SVG file. Press open. And then you can name it you can rename it or add tags. That's totally up to you. And then click save. From there, we're going to go ahead and click on the file itself and then insert images. And there it is. So the nice thing about this file is that everything is simple cuts. There's no lines to change, there's no lines to draw, there's no scoring. It's all a very simple project. All of it's just cutting and gluing. So what you want to do before we ungroup this is you're going to want to double check that you've got everything to the right size. Now, I know that my backdrop that I was using this on was roughly 36 inches. And so I know this, you can see up here, it's 36 inches wide. And if you have it straight like this, then it's about 12 inches tall. You can keep it grouped and resize it to whatever size you need. Just remember, things like the zigzag lines are going to be very difficult if you make them smaller, but that's totally up to you. So let's go ahead and I'm going to ungroup it just in case if I want to change anything around. Ungrouping is not totally necessary, but if you want to move things around later, then it helps. Then click Make It. And you'll see you've got 7 mats if you're using all 12 by 12 paper. All your different pieces and all the different colors. Now these black lines here, the connectors between the train cars, this is a perfect opportunity to use up some black scrap paper. But a lot of these do need a bigger piece. Now for this project, I am using paper from Color Block's Summer Splash Textured Cardstock set. It does not have a colored core. The inside is white, but it's fine for this project. And there's going to be plenty of cardstock left over. But that just means more projects. Okay, now that everything is cut out, let's unload it from our mat. Once you have everything cut out and removed from the mat, you'll want to sort out your pieces by size and color. You might even want to arrange the train cars in the color order you want. Getting everything organized makes the rest of the process so much easier. For assembling the pieces together, I recommend you use a craft mat with the grid lines. I'm using this self-healing mat today, but you can use anything that has a grid that goes down to the 1/4 inch. This is extremely helpful for making sure all your pieces are aligned properly. To make today's project, I'm going to use a basic purple glue stick, but if you have a glue pen, you might want to use that instead. I don't recommend a glue gun for this project because the pieces won't lay flat and some of the pieces are too small to accurately glue with a glue. Before gluing anything together, I recommend that you do a dry fit assembly of the train engine and each of the train cars, using no glue. This way you can be sure that you're not missing any pieces and that you are gluing the correct size circles together for the wheels. If you notice, I'm not trying here to make sure everything is lined up perfectly. I'm just trying to make sure that there aren't any missing pieces and that I'll be gluing the correct sizes of circles for the wheels and that the distribution of the color looks good. No one wants to have to go back and recut cardstock or find out after it's too late that you're left with all blue wheels for the last train car when all the other wheels have contrasting colors. Now it's time to slide all the train cars aside and out of the way and then grab your crafting mat with grid. Place the base of the train engine on your mat so that the bottom of the engine is even with one of the grid lines on your mat. Next, you'll place the apron to the front of the engine so that the bottom of the apron meets up with the grid line about 1/2 inch below the bottom of the engine. Then you're going to place the wheels on the engine so they meet up with the grid lines 3/4 of an inch below the bottom of the engine. Make sure that they're even with each other. Add the steam stack to the front of the engine, but instead of layering on top of the engine base, the bottom of the steam stack will be glued to the underside of the engine. Next, you'll add the star to the middle of the engine, the light just above the apron, and the topper just above the cab. When you're happy with the placement of all your pieces, glue them in place with a glue stick or glue pen. Now it's time to set aside the engine to dry and start working on the train cars. Place a train car base along the same horizontal grid line as you did the engine. This will help ensure that all your wheels along the entire train are even with one another. You'll also want to align the train car so that there are 2 vertical lines to mark the placement of the wheels. You'll want to use this same alignment with all of your cars. Glue the small 1.2 inch circles onto the bigger 1.5 inch circles, gently pressing the pieces together so they stay stuck. Align your wheels to the bottom horizontal grid line, which should be 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the train car. and then glue the wheels to the base of the train car. Glue the rounded rectangle to the top of the train car, the zigzag line just slightly below the rounded rectangle, and the star in the middle of the car. Again, the grid lines on your mat will help you line the star up in the middle of the car. Repeat this with all of the remaining train cars. When everything is glued and dried, you'll want to look back at how long your train should be. Then space the cars and engine evenly along a path that length. When your train is at the proper length and each piece is in the correct position, glue a black connector between the engine and the first car, making sure to glue the connector to the underside of the engine and the car. Then continue with the other connectors between the cars. If you notice, the train I'm assembling today is in a straight line, but the train we used for my son's birthday party was rolling over hills. In that case, I used a little blue tack to hold the train engine and car to the backdrop, and then I glued the connectors between the cars right there on the backdrop. This way, I wasn't stuck with the cars all in a straight line. If you want to assemble this in advance, but aren't sure if your train will be straight or curved, you might want to use some extra small brads to hold all the pieces together. And now you have a finished and adorable paper train that is perfect for any little kid that loves trains as much as my son does. I hope you liked this project today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be back again with you very soon with another fun party craft.